Alpha Dog, here with my co-host Corey, Corey_covers. Corey, another big week for you. We had to invite you back yet again. How are we this week?
Man, if I got to keep doing well, if I can keep getting opportunities here on the Alpha Dog experience, yeah, another solid week for us. Just been a lot of fun so far betting on the NFL season. A lot of good games, a lot of surprises as well, but doing well and looking forward to making everybody some more money here this week.
Absolutely, absolutely. There were some pretty big storylines last week. The Cowboys absolutely getting smacked by the Cardinals. Very good one there. Corey, any games that stick out to you last week?
No, I mean, that one was pretty big. I mean, how about Chargers-Vikings game? I mean, I don't know. Those two teams just can't get out of their own way. Staley probably would have been fired if the Chargers didn't hold on and win that game. I don't really know what's going on with Minnesota, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kirk Cousins gets shipped out if they lose this week or next. I mean, they are just absolutely atrocious right now.
Yeah, we've been saying that each week too. We do feel like the Vikings will be shipping out Kirk Cousins. I know we said that, especially to the Jets. A lot going on with the Jets. More to come here. But Corey, it is time to break down this week's slate. Man in the back, can we get game number one and break down the Thursday night game? Looks like we will have that in just a second. Corey, we will break down the Thursday night game and get it started. We do have the Lions and the Packers. The total coming up at 45.5. The spread coming in at -1.5 for the Lions, +1.5 for the Packers. Corey, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this Packers team. They easily could be 3-0, and they could easily be 1-2. If the Falcons didn't blow that lead, or if the Saints didn't choke last week. So I'm not really sure what to make of this Green Bay team. They've been pretty banged up. I am going to go with the teaser here. We are 9-1 on the season with teasers. I'm going to tease the Packers all the way up to 7.5 and the total at under 52.5. You get at a good price at -110. If Christian Watson and Aaron Jones return, which it seems likely that they will be back in the lineup for Green Bay, I think the Packers can win this game. Jordan Love does scare me. I have a tough time backing him just yet. He is pretty reckless with the football. But this Lions team plays hard under head coach Dan Campbell, and they have the experience at the quarterback position in Jared Goff, who, by the way, has really good numbers against the Packers. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He still has that connection with St. Brown, and rookie tight end Sam Laporta is off to a historic start. His Lions' offensive line, though, is banged up just like Green Bay's, and it's causing them to struggle to run the ball effectively with Jahmyr Gibbs, who selfishly I hope gets going because he's one of my main backs in fantasy this year. But I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game with a short week, so I'll take the teaser. I don't see the Packers getting blown out at home.
Tessie, the teaser is at it again, ladies and gentlemen. Corey has been crushing the teasers this year. He is going to continue doing that. I do like that play. However, I am on the Lions on the money line at -115. Like you said, Laporte has been doing a great job, and this offense needs to get rolling in this one. Coming in 2-1, they're the favorite to win the division. They're the better all-around team than the Packers, and I do think that the Lions get this one done. All over them on the money line at -115. Man in the back, what's next? Falcons and Jaguars. We have our first London game of the year, so remember to set your alarms for 9 or 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. Corey, break it down. What do you got in the first London game of the year?
Yeah, this is a game that I'm not sure if I'll make an official play on. These London games, though, are great. As you mentioned, you set your alarm for 9 o'clock, roll over, flip the TV on, and you got NFL action at 9:30 in the morning here on the East Coast. But these games have been a little bit tough to cap. Looking at data, favorites on the money line has been most profitable over the last 21 years, hitting at a 66% clip. Jags are -162 on the money line, so there's a bit too much juice on it for my liking. Plus, the Jags, who have gone across the pond 9 times already, hasn't had much success. They're 4-5 on the money line, and they lost last year to Cleveland as just a 1-point favorite. So I don't know if I'll go there. The overs are hitting about at a 50% clip, so that's a coin flip play if you want to go that way. I do know that the London field does play a little bit faster and tends to help out the offenses, but I will go with Jacksonville here if I had to go with a pick, and they're about -3 right now. I think this is a spot where you can buy low on Jacksonville. They got embarrassed by the Texans in a division rival game. This offense just isn't clicking the way a lot of people thought it would be with Calvin Ridley. Trevor Lawrence, he's okay, but he hasn't been able to take that next step that a lot of people have been expecting. They do stop the run nicely, though, and that's key against this Atlanta Falcons team who has Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. They love to run the ball down the throat, and I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will get right here across the big pond. I'll take them -3.
If I were to take a side, I would take the Jags in this one. I'm taking the over 43.5. We all saw last week how this Jaguars defense really is and what happened in some big games. They got absolutely whacked 37-17 by the Houston Texans. Giving up 37 points to the Texans is a bit interesting to me. Shows a lot about this defense. And you look at them the rest of the year, they did give up 21 points to the Colts in week 1. On the other side, we know what's going on with the Falcons. They need to get their aerial attack going. They need to get Kyle Pitts involved in the game. If they don't, they might as well trade him to the Cowboys like all the rumors have been, because you could see Pitts open all day long in this game down the field, and Ritter just can't get him the ball. I think we see turnovers in this. We may see some fumbles, and this one will go over the 43.5 comfortably. One of my favorite plays this week. Man in the back. What do we have for game number 3? And of course, we have man in the back's favorite team. We have the Miami Dolphins, Bryce's Dolphins. Corey, what'd you think of the Dolphins' 70-point game last week against the Broncos?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if we will see something like that again in our lifetime. I forget the first time it happened, if it even happened, but 70 points in an NFL game is truly remarkable. We talked about Denver and Chicago in a little bit, but this Denver Broncos team is a dumpster fire. Doesn't matter if Sean Payton is at the helm. Russell Wilson still doesn't look great. I don't know what the answer is, but I do know Miami is going to be a problem in the AFC.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more in this one. But Corey, how about these Dolphins? Literally, that offense to me is the best in the league, the most explosive we've seen in years. What Mike McDaniel is doing with that offense is incredible. The way he is in pre-snap motioning their speed players, such as Tyreek Hill, such as both of their running backs and Raheem Mostert as well. When he gets them in motion before they hike the ball, you can't jam them at the line. You cannot get your hands on these players. And no one's really done it to the success that McDaniel and this offense has. But it's truly impressive, and I want to see it continue here. With that being said, I do not think the Bills' defense can keep up with that Dolphins offense. Like we say every week, if Tua stays upright and he's able to connect on those deep throws, which he's the king of accuracy and he's done all year long, this Dolphins offense is impossible to stop. To me, this is a good play on the Fins here at +3. I do think they win this one outright, but we are going to take the insurance on the +3. I am all over the Dolphins in this one.
I'm with you, but I'm even more confident. Give me the Fins money line. I think this is the year and the team that snaps the trend of their struggles up in Buffalo. They are 0-7 straight up, 1-9 in the last 10 meetings. But this year is different. You mentioned what McDaniel is doing pre-snap. That one play where they had Tua fake a pitch to the right and then everybody just come motion left. It completely fooled the defense. Listen, I get it. It's Denver, but it doesn't matter. McDaniel is putting stuff out there that nobody has seen yet this year. And I think that this Dolphins offense is going to be historic. Tyreek Hill is arguably the best wide receiver in the game. I know everybody loves Justin Jefferson, but what Tyreek Hill brings to this offense and to this game is purely spectacular. They're expected to get speedster Jalen Waddle back after he suffered a concussion last week. Devin A-Chain was ridiculous last week. I think him and Mostert will come back down to earth, but two explosive running backs out of the backfield. And don't get me wrong, the Bills have just as many weapons. And Josh Allen has been flawless since that disastrous game to open up the season against the New York Jets. But I'm banking on Miami forcing Allen to make one crazy throw, one forced throw to make a big play, and that's going to turn the tide. I think Miami wins 30-27, 33-30. I think this is going to be the highest scoring game on the slate, but give me the Dolphins money line.
Yeah, exactly what I said too. Both of us are all over the Dolphins. I think it's both of our favorite plays of the week. Game of the week. Make sure you guys tune in. And remember, guys, we are brought to you by SoBet. $1 promo right now. It's $1. Get all the NFL plays for this weekend. You get a whole month, guys. Tap in, come join us, and come get all the NFL plays. We are here because of SoBet to support us and support the show. Come join. It's just $1. Man in the back. Let's get to our fourth game on the docket, which is going to be the Bengals and Corey's Titans. Corey, we always let you kick off with the Titans. What are you thinking?
Well, the Titans are starting to pan out the way I thought they would be. A very average to below average team. This offense stinks. The defense is okay in the run game, but their passing defense isn't very good at all. I'm going Bengals money line here. At first, I was leaning on the under with two of the lowest scoring offenses meeting in this one, which I don't think anybody was expecting to say about the Cincinnati Bengals with their offensive prowess, but since he's coming off another ugly win against the Rams Monday night, it's a short week, have to travel to Tennessee. Burrow still doesn't look like himself, but the good sign was that him and Jamar Chase were able to connect. Jamar had one of his best games so far on the early year. The Titans, as I mentioned, they're good at stopping the run, but there's a lot of leaks in that secondary. They struggled against Cleveland. They made Deshaun Watson look like he was a Houston Texan form of Deshaun Watson. So I don't trust this Tennessee team. Evan McPherson has his big leg. He's got the confidence. I think he's going to be a difference in this one. I think Cincinnati squeaks away with a win on the road.
Yeah, I see it the exact same way you do. I see a low-scoring Bengals win here. I just don't think that the Titans' offensive line is going to be able to contain the Bengals' defensive front. I think they're going to be able to get after it, and I do think the Bengals are able to get this one done. The Titans, to me, are not a great football team. I know they've played decently this year. They do have a win. They are 1-2. They did beat the Chargers in that thrilling overtime game, but they are coming in off getting absolutely whopped by the Browns. 27-3. And we all know that offensive line got killed the whole game. We all saw the video of all the different sacks on that one. I do think Joe Burrow is going to be back and healthy in this one. And I do think they are going to have a big game. So I'm also on the Bengals on the money line at -135. Let's keep it rolling. We have next the Denver Broncos, who allowed, 732 points in the first quarter last week against the Chicago Bears. We have the Toilet Bowl, the worst game probably in NFL history. Corey, what do you like in the Toilet Bowl this week?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I will not be betting on this game. If you willingly decide to, you, my friend, are a true degenerate. I mean, what are we doing here? The Broncos and the Bears should be relegated to the Canadian Football League at this point. Sean Payton hasn't made any difference on the sidelines. The Broncos team is becoming more and more of an embarrassment, yet somehow, despite allowing 70 points, they are a 3-point favorite against the Bears. So what does that say about Chicago? I don't even know what to say about the Bears. There seems like there's a lot of dysfunction there. Justin Fields doesn't seem to be happy with the way the coaching has been panning out. They got the off-field issue with one of their coordinators that happened last week. They've lost every game by 10 or more points. They got obliterated by Kansas City. Justin Fields just can't throw the ball downfield. DJ Moore is probably regretting signing with Chicago. I just don't know what these two teams have to offer. If I had to pick, I will go with the home dog with the Bears plus 3.5. Moore was traded, not signed. Even worse because he had no say in the matter. But with that said, the Bears, I will take begrudgingly on the show plus 3.5 points. Good luck if you're stuck watching that wherever you guys live, because I will not be tuning in.
Shout out Long Money Larry in the chat. He said game ends in a 3-3 tie. That would be absolutely hilarious. I hope not, though, because I'm leading the over in this matchup. We all know what the Broncos defense can do, and I do think Justin Fields is going to have a big game here. He needs to have a huge game. This Bears team needs him to have a huge game, and I think the Bears offense gets some points on the board. That being said, I do think that the Broncos get points as well. Total only being at 46. We should see this one soar over 46. One of my favorite plays this week, even though it should be a terrible game. Man in the back, what do we got? We have the Ravens and the Browns, another game I'm actually really looking forward to this week. Corey, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. You know, usually in years past, it was like, oh, great, Ravens, Browns. Ravens are going to steamroll them, but I don't think that's the case this year. I'm going to go with the under on this one. It's set at 41. I think it's a smidge too high with what we've seen from these defenses. It's always a tough game. Two division opponents who typically like to run the ball a lot, but I don't even know if Baltimore has a healthy running back at this point. I think they brought Kenyon Drake back. Yep. This offense looked flat last week against Indianapolis. They still don't have an identity, in my opinion, under their new OC. And the Colts blitzed a ton in that game, and Lamar did not look comfortable.
He did not.
And you look at the Cleveland sideline, their D coordinator is Jim Schwartz. I mean, you don't have to ask this guy twice to blitz. He loves bringing the pressure. I think he's going to take a page out of the Colts book and try and make Lamar as uncomfortable as possible. Meanwhile, Cleveland, I don't think you can rely on another performance that Deshaun Watson had against Tennessee. I think they're going to try and take the ball out of his hands, get Jerome Ford going. He did score 2 touchdowns in that win against Tennessee, but only had 20 yards rushing. But again, that's more of a credit to how good the Titans' rush defense is. I think the Browns are hungry to make a statement and to be no longer the doormat of this division. I think they see a window of opportunity with Cincinnati slipping a little bit right now with their offensive struggles. Give me the under in this one. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Cleveland does win this game.
I also see it how you do. I'm all over the under here. We take a look at how the Browns defense has been doing. 2 games this year out of the 3, they've only allowed 3 points. Myles Garrett, to me, looks like the defensive player of the year. Him or TJ Watt so far, they've both been outstanding. But this Browns defensive line has been unbelievable. We all saw the clip of Myles Garrett running back and back on side to side, and they had 2 non-linemen following him so they can triple team him on the play. Then they got a delay game, and he got the sack on the next play anyway. So they were triple teaming him. They still couldn't get the job done against Myles Garrett. I think this one goes comfortably under the 40.5. We should see 2 teams that want to dominate the time of possession. They're going to pound the rock. And then you look at the injuries as well. The Ravens wide receiver room is pretty banged up. Odell Beckham, a true questionable. Rashad Bateman, a true questionable. Gus Edwards, the running back, a true questionable. A lot going on with that offense on both offenses. I think we see a very comfortable under here. And quickly, guys, yet again, I do want to shout out SoBet, though, one more time. So we are here because of SoBet, guys. Check it out. It's $1 first month to try it out. Over 50 handicappers. Come tap in. It's literally only $1. Come get all my plays for Sunday. Come get all my college football plays for Saturday. And Corey's plays will be there, too. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, this is a question for Corey. I can't jump into the next game because you are our teaser Tessie. Long Money Larry's asking, what do we think of a teaser? Philly money line and Miami plus 10.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I don't see Philly losing to Washington. Washington's going to play them tough. I don't know if the Eagles cover the 8.5-point spread that's at. It might be 7.5 right now, but I do know they opened up at an 8-point favorite. And Miami, they're not getting blown out in this game. There's no way. I don't know what the odds are for you, Long Money Larry. That seems like that would be a little juicy. Maybe, I like it. I think it's going to hit. It just depends on how much juice is on it. But yeah, I'd roll with it.
All right, there we go. Let's keep it rolling. We have the Raiders and the Chargers. Corey, let's talk about Brandon Staley for a minute. 4th and 1 at his own 20-yard line. He decides to go for it against the Vikings. Absolutely crazy decision. To me, he's by far the worst coach in the NFL. Do you think he's going to be the first coach fired this year?
If they lose more, yes. But if they somehow find ways to win games, then it's going to be hard to justify firing a coach when they're winning. They got very lucky against Minnesota. That was pretty much a make or break for both team seasons. The historical stats of starting a year off 0-3 and the likeliness of you making the playoffs is slim to none in the NFL. So the Chargers got a much needed win. But yeah, some seriously questionable calls with Staley. I don't get it. They're without Mike Williams too now for the rest of the year. So it's going to be interesting to see how he game plans moving forward.
Yeah, it does look like the Chargers should be getting Austin Eckler back this week. That's an absolutely huge boost to them. And Derwin James should be in the lineup. So those are 2 big names. Looking at the Raiders injury report, Jimmy G is a true questionable. We all saw him get wrapped up on a bad tackle last week. Does he go? I think he still plays. But this team, to me, is still not a great team. I'm all over the Chargers minus 5.5. It's hard to do that with a team backed by Brandon Staley. But I do still think the Chargers are able to get it done. I think this Raiders team has a really terrible year. Truthfully, I do. I'm not big on the Raiders at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more on a wait and see for this game. If Jimmy G does clear concussion protocol, I'm leaning on the over at 48. This Chargers defense is terrible. The only good thing about that is that it forces Justin Herbert in the offense to throw and score a lot of points because their defense, couldn't stop water. If you had a plug, it just doesn't work. They cannot stop anything. So I do like the over in this game. The total's a little high, but Jimmy G, he was concussed apparently near the end of the game and still threw a touchdown. So, I think they still have some weapons. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a humongous game in this one. I think this is a great bounce back spot for Josh Jacobs as well. I think the Raiders could easily put up 21 points to get us halfway to the total. I see this being like a 35-21 type of game. So you could go either way, Chargers with the spread or the over.
Yeah, and if you look at the Chargers, all 3 games this year, 28-24 win, 27-24 loss, 36-34 loss. All 3 games would be comfortably over the total, so I do like your over on that. Let's keep it rolling here. What's the next game that we have on the slate? We have the Patriots and the Cowboys. We all know the story with the Cowboys. Huge defeat to the Cardinals, 28-16. What'd you guys think about that one, Corey? What'd you think of the Cowboys last week? What do you think about them this week against the Pats?
Yeah, I was surprised. I think Dallas just went into that game thinking they were going to steamroll Arizona, and that just wasn't the case at all. Kudos to Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. I mean, everybody thinks they're tanking for Caleb Williams, and for 3 weeks they've played pretty hard. Are they going to win many more games? I don't know, but they're not just lying down and waving the white flag after the first half. So I do like the effort. For you Eagles fans out there, that was a huge game for NFC East Division implications. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's a wake-up call for Dallas, and I think that's what kind of lends me into this play here. I'm not going to lie. I'm not taking Dallas with -6.5. This Bill Belichick defense scares me.
Oh, here we go. Here comes the teaser. Here it
You
comes.
know it.
I know what's
Tessie the teaser. Long money Larry. You want a
Mhm.
teaser that's at good price. -105. Cowboys -0.5 point and over 37.5. This Bill Belichick defense is going to take a page out of the Cardinals book, and they're going to be able to make a lot of difficult plays for this Cowboys team. I think Dallas and this offense, they're not going to put up 35 points this week. I just don't see that going against this New England team. And vice versa on the other side, this Dallas defense did not look the same without Diggs. That secondary certainly looks to be lost without their leader there in the secondary. So I'm going to take that teaser, get that total all the way down. I think New England will put together a couple of scoring drives. It's meticulous. It's methodical for Mac Jones and the Patriots, but they do put up some points. I know they struggled against the Jets. I think they're going to struggle against this Dallas defense, so that's why I'm going to go with the teaser.
I like it. I'm on the other side, though. I'm all over the Pats in this one, +6.5. Bill Belichick is the best at scheming up blitzes against opposing quarterbacks and putting quarterbacks under duress and getting them to make mistakes. Dak Prescott is definitely inclined to make a few mistakes, and Bill Belichick's the guy to have them schemed up and ready to go. Love the Patriots, all over them at +6.5. Quickly over to the comments. Big Hit Mark is here saying, what's up? What is up, Mark? Thanks for popping in. And Long Money Larry said he lost money on the Cowboys and couldn't be happier, meaning he must be a fan of one of those other teams in the NFC East, just like I am. Huge for my Giants. We're making a run, Larry, and we're winning the Super Bowl. We're not, but, had to say it there for that. Let's keep it moving. What is the next game we have on the slate? And we have the Chiefs and the Jets. The last two games we're covering are the two New York teams. Corey, Chiefs, Jets, what you got?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of my Cowboys pick here. I'm actually laying the points here with the Chiefs. Arrowhead, you got Zach Wilson. Excuse me, the game's in New York, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The Chiefs are starting to click here. Patrick Mahomes against Zach Wilson. This Jets defense, everybody's like, oh, man, the Jets defense. Yes, they are solid, but if you dive into the numbers, they're regressing. They've given up 20 points per game. That's 12th in the league, allowing 351 yards, which is 20th, 129 yards on the ground, which is 23rd, and opponents are converting third downs 44% of the time. So they are giving absolutely way too many opportunities for a defense that practically can't give up anything because of how bad Zach Wilson is. He has the worst QB rating going in the NFL of all 34 quarterbacks. There's only 32 teams in the league. That means he's worse than two backups that have already seen time. I mean, that is almost nearly impossible to do, but Zach Wilson is doing it. Give me the Chiefs. I think they're going to roll over the Jets on the road.
I see it the other way. This is definitely a Jets play to me at +9.5. If you want to buy it up at +10, I don't blame you on that for the insurance. I think this Jets team is going to play some good defense here. They have some good corners, and the way the Chiefs are going to win this game is by throwing the ball deep and hitting some big plays, and it's tough to do that against this Jets defense. I know the story is about Zach Wilson, but I think this week, Robert Saleh is just going to say the hell with what they're doing. They haven't given him a chance to be successful. They're giving him 3-yard outs, little slants, nothing that's really threatening and letting him throw the ball deep. I think this week they're going to open the playbook, and you have to see what you got. If he throws 7 interceptions, he throws 7 interceptions, and then you can't play him anymore. But you can't win a game by having your quarterback throw 3-yard outs and not giving them a chance. Give the kid a chance, open the playbook, and have him throw the ball. It's the only way if you know it's worth keeping him or not. I think the Jets do that, and I see them competing in this one and keeping it close. Do they win? Absolutely not. But they keep this one close enough and cover the 9.5-point spread all over the Jets. Definitely one of my favorite plays this week. Man in the back, the moment everyone's been waiting for, the moment everyone's tuned in for, the New York Football Giants on Monday Night Football. Corey, You're not starting this one. I do apologize. Giants are home hosting the Seahawks. Giants are pretty healthy in this week. They should be having all their guys in there. Wan'Dale Robinson made his season debut last week. He looked fantastic. Andrew Thomas on the offensive line, blindside tackle. He should be back. The Giants have 10 days off between last Thursday's game, and they're also getting Ben Bredesen, their other guard, back. Corey, you know what I'm on in this one. Giants, money line. What do you want?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for a prime time over. I had to watch the Seahawks game in its entirety for the most part. I had them in a ATS pool that I'm in, needed them to cover -5.5 against Carolina, and they had me sweating until about the fourth quarter. This Seahawks defense has more holes than a slice of Swiss cheese. I mean, they gave up a lot of chunk plays against Andy Dalton in his first week of action and this Carolina Panthers offense, which quite frankly doesn't have a whole lot of weapons. There's not a lot of explosive playmakers. Miles Sanders has been decent. Mingo, the young rookie wide receiver, has been all right. I know DJ Chark Jr. had a huge catch and touchdown in that loss for Carolina, but give me the over in this one. I think the Giants have a pretty good opportunity here to get their offense going. I know they struggled here, but they played against the Niners and Dallas. Those are two of the top 3 defenses in the NFC. Daniel Jones has shown spurts as to why they decided to pay him that much money. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. But nonetheless, he has shown flashes that he can make plays. The Darren Waller connection is going to be back this week after Darren Waller was MIA last week. You mentioned the offensive line getting healthier. Seattle's got playmakers. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and you've got Kenneth Walker, who I think is going to just run all over the field as well. I think this has the making of an easy over here at 47.5.
You have to pick a side. As the resident Giants fan on this show, and it being my show, you have to pick a side. Seahawks or Giants?
Alternate spread -14.5. No, I actually like the Giants in this spot. Earlier in the week, I was saying if this was a small spread, at even a pick 'em, which it basically is, I would take New York at home. Seattle's got to fly cross country, deal with the time change. It's a late night game. I like the Giants to bounce back and also pick up a win.
Yeah, the Giants have seen a lot of Geno Smith over the last couple of years as well. And he was in New York for years. So a lot of these guys like Leonard Williams were his teammates. They have a lot of experience with him. So that'll do it for our recaps for this show. Man in the back, put up the graphic one more time. Let them know why we're here. Guys, we're brought to you by SoBet. You could join SoBet for just $1 for the first month. Scan the code or go to SoBet.io. Promo code ATS. Come join. Come win with us. And we'll be back next week. Corey, say goodbye to the people.
Everybody, appreciate you. Long Money Larry, a couple other people checking in. Make sure to follow me at Corey_covers. Looking for another big week. We've been having a lot of fun, winning a lot. All my bets are tracked. I could send it to you if you want to look. But again, killing it on teasers, 9-1. Good against the spread right now. And again, check it out on SoBet. Join SoBet. You want Alpha Dog experience. Alpha Dog is the alpha in the NFL. Only $1. You scan your code, you take your camera out, you scan it, and you're going to have not only Alpha Dog bets, but almost 50 other capper betting picks for the week. Other sports as well. Definitely hit it up. SoBet does a great job. Follow them on Twitter and follow Alpha Dog if you don't already.
We'll see you next week. Corey's